Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing alright. So, again, like making YouTube videos and shit like this, I know I just spoke about how sometimes it makes me feel weird. I don't know if it's a good idea for me to continue to do it. Da 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 da. I mean, it's you can choose. I mean, it's in you. I can choose to put goodness into this fucking situation right here, making videos on YouTube, or I can choose to not fuck with it at all, or I can choose to perpetuate bad shit. So it's like. I think that what I talked about in the past couple of videos was me essentially falling susceptible to just negativity, man. Just not. I don't even know. Like all I know is that I've fallen into a pretty it's a funky spot. Like where I'm at right now. Like there's a lot of resistance. There's a lot of things trying to keep me from wanting to continue on with this. Like there's so many like in like every aspect of my life right now I have this negative force that's like examining everything I'm doing, and it's like it's just beating me down in every single way. Like I have to fight in order to put like good thoughts in my brain. Like it's really literally like a choice I have to make. Like I have to kind of stop myself and be like, whoa, I don't have to continue down this trajectory of negative thinking if I don't want to. Like I found like this is something kind of new because I'm one who's it's like when I feel an emotion, like there's something in me that wants to like be absorbed completely in that particular emotion. Like it feels like that's a good thing to do. Like it's the right thing to do to be compelled by that emotion to as deeply as I can be. Like that's something to me feels like that's a good thing to do, to be able to do that. Like it feels bad when I don't. However, like if it's a if it's emotion that's going to perpetuate more negativity into your life, then that can be a bad thing to do. So this is where it can be tricky because it's really this is why I think one of the best things we could do right now in this current time and place and reality for the individual and the collective is to break things down to an energetic level. Because when you break it down to an energetic level, it gets rid of all the extra bullshit. It just gets rid of all the not even bullshit, just extra it just breaks things down to its most simple and specific form. And then from there, you can deal with things at their most base, naked, and true value and just look at something for what it is and just it. Like it would, what I'm essentially getting into is religion and just all these different ideas and words and, programs that have been created largely to keep us divided, largely to keep us bogged down in shitty feelings and to fighting with each other. That's one of the biggest ways that this current enemy against humanity, which again, it's important for us to remember. It's not like, for me, it's not other human beings I'm worried about. No, like, yes, there are other evil human beings, but the ones that we really need to worry about are the extraterrestrial malevolent, the aliens, the real aliens, not the immigrants type aliens, but like literally you know, terrestrial beings that hate humanity and have an agenda to manipulate. And what I think their part of their intention is to literally turn us into some type of a hybrid species to perpetuate their own species because they're dying and we still have a lot of life left in us and we still are able to reproduce. I mean, these people, like this species is like having trouble reproducing type shit. Like they're on the brink of their own extinction. And so they're doing everything and anything they can to not only not be extinct, but also to come back with some force. And they're using, it's my opinion that they're using Earth and humanity in particular as a hybrid species to perpetuate their own agenda and to continue their own way of fucking living, which is all about dominating other life forms and assimilating them into their culture and using them as slave workers to get the fucking riches. And then they sit back fucking pulling all the strings. And these would be the type of people that you could classify as holding the strings of the puppets, of being literally the puppet masters. So anyway, I got a little bit off on a tangent there, but essentially what I'm trying to just share with you guys is like when you break things down to their most simplest form, it gets rid of all the extra bullshit. So it's like I can look at a thought pattern and if it's not doing something to help me grow, then right then and there I can identify it as something of a negative, or if you want to use that word, demonic or ill or sick or unhealthy, bad nature, just to identify it as that and to deal with it appropriately. Now, whether it's your choice, if you want to, we have free will. So some people are going to choose to fuck with that negativity and see where it takes them, and then to that negative, more of a negative realm. Other people are going to succumb to that feeling and allow it to overwhelm them, and thus, be subdued by that negativity, which then kills their ability to, lessens their ability to fight for the good and to feel love and positivity and happiness and all this and that. This is where a large amount of, if not all percentage of like depressions come from, is that inability for a person to persevere over those negative thoughts. And instead of persevering, they thus succumb, and that's how you fall into your own fucking web of destruction, or spiral of destruction. At least from my perspective, that's how it feels for me, and based on what I've observed from others, it seems to have a similar tendency with them. So I'm sitting here dealing with all that shit, and but one thing it's important that for me, because it's important for me, I'm going to share it with other people, is to just reiterate the fact that, like, when you're feeling those types of ways, those thoughts, that negativity, that resistance came to you because there's an equation here. They don't just come to you for no fucking reason. I don't believe that. Everything happens for a reason. So the reason why you're dealing with that resistance is because you have shown such good fortitude, such good ability to fight, such good ability to persevere against the resistance, against the negativity, against the evil, against your opponent, whatever it may be, against the challenges of life in this realm, that you've earned that resistance. So it's actually, another way to look at things is the more resistance you have in your life, like the more that you have trying to take you down, like literally other forces that are trying to take you down and to create more challenges, unnecessary challenges in your life, the more of that you have means the more that you are conquering, the more that you are persevering, the more that you are growing, the more that you are doing. Otherwise, those forces would have no reason to come to you. Like those forces have come to you, those emotions have come to you for a specific reason. So it's important to remember that, but it's not all black and white. Like it's not, some things you got to deal with. That's where you have to identify. Like certain issues are just issues that you have perpetuated of your own accord, and it takes you to see that in order to see like that's something you got. It's not like there's different types of pain. Like there's the pain that comes from resistance of growth, which is more about the outside forces, pressuring you into something different. And then there's also the micro or the macro or whatever, the inside, the smaller version, which is you, the individual, and the pain that you got to deal with. So, it's it just goes back to, did I do something to an alcoholic, like clearly if they're continuing to drink alcohol, then that's something that they know that they're choosing to consume every single fucking day, and it's destroying their liver and doing all these other bad things to their body, and it's a choice that they're making, and it's like they have the power when in there to choose not to continue drinking, and that is their own choice, and they continue to do. Now this is where like forces and things, they bleed together, and that's why Satan's going to want to continue to get you to do as many of these low vibrational things as possible, because the more of those things that you do, the more open you are to being infected by other low vibrational things. That's why when you live in a free capitalistic society that allows the consumption and production and distribution and perpetuation of toxic products, it's inevitable that you're going to see a plethora of sicknesses and spiritual possessions and sicknesses and unhealthy, unharmonious peoples and situations all over the place. It's by design. It's pattern. It's like the data is in. Like we have tried to give people, like America has been a giant, experiment in a lot of different ways. This whole human situation is largely looked at as an experiment, but especially here in America, we know what it looks like when we allow free capitalism societies, largely unregulated, to flourish. We've seen what happens when we feed them with money and with people, with goods, with giving people the ability to choose one product over the other. We've seen what they've chosen. Sadly, the proof is in the pudding. When you manipulate them a certain way, when you feed them certain things, and you have music presented a certain way, and you have celebrities talking about things in a certain way, and you have cars and signs and houses and architectures all built in a certain way, that all has a certain effect that is now completely evident, in my opinion, based on the nature of reality here in America. And so, in short, what I'm trying to say is, everything is connected. So it's like you gotta also keep that into a factor. Yes, there's the stuff that you're choosing to do on your own self that's creating your own hell inside you, but there's also the outside externally factors of the environment that are also affecting you. This is why, you know, the more that you choose to do good with your life, the more of that goodness you're going to absorb within yourself and also perpetuate out into the environment. So it's also going to help you and the environment.